I'm thrilled. I'm going to pick your brain. Let's get started. I don't know if you know about my introduction, but it go a little something like this. What's going on, guys? It's Yahavy David St. Clair Speaks, and you are now tuned in to the St. Clair Speaks Show. You are now tuned in to the St. Clair Speaks Show. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the St. Clair Speaks Show podcast. I'm your host, Yahavy St. Clair, and I am sitting here with another special guest. Now, this connection, of course, is a powerful connection. I am one that is, of course, a student to the game. This is an interview that I had marked on my calendar for my own personal reasons, and I am so excited. I feel like a freaking, no pun intended, a kid in a candy store right now. Guys, without further ado, Lakinya Francis, CEO and founder, of course, of IKrave Vending. Now, for those that are now tuning in, Lakinya, if you can, please give us maybe anywhere between maybe a 3 to 5 minute introduction on who you are, your brand, and your business, and of course, what brings you onto the St. Clair Speaks Show podcast.
All right. So first of all, thanks for having me here. I'm excited to be here and kind of get into this. I love talking about it. It's fun. I love it. So again, I'm Lakinya, the founder and CEO of IKrave Vending. So I'm from Miami, Florida, actually. And I kind of got into vending a couple of years ago. Honestly, I'm not sure if we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but just with something to do. And I started off actually in the business as far as operating, right? And I went through a lot of trial and error because I didn't have anybody to say, hey, do this, don't do that. And, so I've gone through my journey on vending. And then along the way, people started saying, hey, how do you get into that? Like, I thought you had to be a big company or corporation or something like that in order to get into vending. And I'm like, no. And I started, giving people game and stuff like that. And then I was like, wow, people are interested in it. So that's what kind of led me up to where I am now with the consulting part of it. And to be honest, this is my main focus. And I'll tell you guys a little bit later what's next for me as far as operating in vending machines. But right now, my main focus is really helping other people and walking with them through the process of getting started with their vending machine business. So that's really key on what I'm doing right now. I still have a few vending machines out there. I have someone helping me, but my main walk right now is really helping people from start to finish with whatever type of vending that they want to do. And I'm loving it. I enjoy it. It's so rewarding, to help people, achieve that little piece of financial freedom by increasing their income, on top of whatever their day job is or whatever the case may be. So that's pretty much what I do. I do have a few vending machines, but I also consult with people and teach. I have courses, ebooks, but I really enjoy the one-on-ones where I can really talk with you like this and get you from that start point to the end point. And so that's pretty much what I do, and what IKrave Vending is all about.
I am thrilled that you're at the point where you're doing consulting, you're doing coaching, because there are a lot of people right now that are interested in getting into the industry, but they don't know how to start. And there are some people that don't offer the coaching. So can you elaborate on a little bit more on like what kind of like sparked that path for you, and why is coaching so important for anyone that's looking to get started right now?
So what really sparked that path, just to kind of give you guys a little, not to go too far back, but when I graduated college back in 2010, I actually moved back home to Miami, and I was teaching middle school and high school language arts for 4 years. And before I moved on to my government job, but I was doing that. And so I'm a teacher at heart. I enjoy talking. I enjoy, getting up there and teaching and walking somebody through patience and holding their hand. So when people started asking me, hey, and just random people like, hey, how do you do that? And I started posting on Instagram, like, how do you do that? And so I was like, wow, okay, people are interested in this. And so with my job, I do that. I create curriculum. So I already had a little bit of background of, okay, what will it consist of something that is good, like an ebook, or, a little starter or course or something that's really going to get the point across. And okay, well, what can really put the icing on the cake? Consulting one-on-one. There's only so much you can get from an ebook, from a course, but if you can get on the phone and talk to me, things change, and I keep up with things all the time. So, what was going on 6 months ago, my knowledge has increased. So when you get me on the phone, you get me right then and there, and it's just so much better. So I really enjoyed that, that one-on-one piece, and that's what I really, what I really recommend when people are trying to get into the business. Now, what are people benefiting from that? Here's the truth. Me, anybody, like I did, you can go online, and let me give you a little knowledge. That's what I did when I started Googling, YouTubing. There's videos out there. There's blog posts. Just started reading and finding out bits and pieces of information. And I took whatever it is that I researched, and I just ran with that. Right. And I started up just like that. Now, along the way, I've had to tap myself on the head like, wow, man, I wish I would have knew that. I just wasted money. I just, I just got screwed over, people, I waste a lot of money, a lot of trial, a lot of error, because I did do YouTube and research. I did do Google and research. There's only so much you can learn from there. The best learning is from experience. So I took all those bad, and I wouldn't even say bad, but all of the trial and errors from me, and I'm chopping it in half for everybody. I'm saying, listen, don't do this, do this. This is, and I'm very transparent. This is exactly what happened to me, and I'm just telling you so you can skip that mistake. That's the purpose of me. And so I think it's important sometimes to reach out to somebody who's where you want to be, where you're intending on going, or someone who has some experience and they know more than you. And, you might can save yourself time and money. So, coaching and consulting, it's important. It is. I never realized it until I started doing it. Like, wow, and even from, consulting, and I've been doing it for about a year now, helping people, from what I was doing 3-4 months ago, I've changed some things up because I always want to be effective as possible with really helping people and really helping them get to that end road. So, it's necessary because you really can save yourself money, a lot of money, when you know certain things and you have somebody that's been through it and they can tell you, don't do that, or, don't go that way, go this way. And just kind of give you that knowledge, and so coaching in that aspect is pretty, it's pretty important in my opinion.
The only way I would get started in the vending machine business is through you in terms of coaching. That's the only way. Just to avoid, as you said, that trial and error. Did you have a mentor or a coach or anyone that's like, hey, go about it this way? Or you was just self-educated to the point where it's like, all right, I could use these resources here and just put it together as you go? So
to be honest, right, when I first got started, it was reading, and looking at YouTube videos. And I literally woke up one day. I had already did my research, found out about how much money I needed. So I have been saving, but I literally woke up one day, and on my lunch break, I said, you know what? I'm read all I can read. I don't watch all the videos I can watch. I'm just going to do it. And I really stuck my head out there. I really did. There's a lot of stuff I did not know. But along the way, I did meet a guy here. He was the mover. He actually moved the vending machines. And he's not into vending anymore. He really just does like selling machines, fixing on them, and transporting them. And, he told me, he said, hey, Francis, that's my last name. So a lot of people in Miami, the demographics here is mainly, so they Francis. So Francis, if you need anything, call me. So, sometimes people say that to be nice. So I was like, you know what? I have questions. I'm calling him. And I started calling him. And he, would kind of let me know certain things that I was asking. And then sometimes he'd extend a little bit further and give me other tips. Now, by the time I've gotten to this point to where I'm like really reaching out to him, a lot of mistakes had already been made. But I will say I learned a lot from him. And we're still friends to this day. We met up yesterday. We still do business together. And, relationships and networking is very important when you can find someone that's in it. So although he's not operating in it, there's things that he can do that I still, for example, repairing. I'm not a repair person, but he is. I'm not a mover, but he has the truck with the lift. I've had him sell machines for me. And that's what I like about vending. It's a safe investment, right? Because I'm so busy right now, way busier than I was when I first started vending. I got vending, I got the consulting. I'm in school finishing up my master's. I still do work a 9 to 5, right? So he helps me, and he sold some machines for me before, and we've sold them for more than what I paid for them. And I've already made my money back. So I'm like, I tell people, you know what? I don't want to be negative. I want to be transparent. If you get into this business and you feel like, man, this is not what I thought, I'm not really feeling it, you can always take a picture of your machines and sell them back to the market, make your money back. And so that's what I do like about it. And so I always let people know to keep that in mind, because a lot of people are trying it out just to see if this is something that they can get into, and they don't know if it's going to work out. But most businesses, once you invest your money, that's it, right? Most of the time. But with vending, it's a little bit different. You buy the machines, it's too much for you. You need to downgrade a little bit, chop off some, sell them back to the market, man. Sell them back to the market. So anyways, this gentleman who, was the machine mover for me, he was my mentor, and still is. We still collaborate, but way after I started. But he would be that person that I was able to call that had that knowledge of what I was talking about, to give me that feedback.
Let me ask you this, because, every time I'm on a podcast interview and I ask a question, so many doors open up. Would you say vending, in particular, and what you do, is location key? Because I have one in my barbershop, and our barbershop is bumping, and they have a really good vending machine in there.
Does it? You're saying that when you go get your haircut, there's one in there?
Yeah, they have a vending machine in there, and with the demographic is great, but that barbershop is always having volume. So they got candy, they got snacks, they got water, they got soda, they got everything. So would you say that location is key?
Man, let me tell you, with vending, location is everything. Nothing else matters. It's not buying a machine. You can buy anything. Look how many car lots we got. You can buy anything. Anything's for sale. You got the money, somebody's selling it, and you can buy it. It's not registering your business. That's easy. You can go online, most states, and do that. You can go to the store and buy the product. The hardest part, the key part, the most important part with vending is the location. And again, that's another thing that I had to kind of learn along the way. Like, I understood that, right? So you already know that, but there's certain things about location. So now with a little bit more knowledge, I tell people, okay, when you get to the point, and my consulting is not just, we talk one time, one thing fits all. No, I'm very in tune. Hey, let's check back in 2 weeks and let's see where we're at. Now, when you get to the point of locating, something that I just started doing recently over the last 2 minutes, let me evaluate your location. Let me take a look at it, because I can look at it and say, hey, this place looks slow, and doesn't look like they're hitting on anything. And if you don't have people coming in and out of the business, or if it's, for the employees, and there's a mass amount of employees, you're going to be upset because you're going to be having your machine somewhere and it's not really going to be making the investment back fast enough. And so location is everything, man. That is the key factor. And that's where you got to have a little patience. Because the location might not fall out of the sky and you're like, oh my God, I landed. And I do talk to some people that get really lucky, like, whoa, but location is everything. And a well-established barbershop is actually a really good location. Where I get my hair done, right? The guy that, does my hair, he said, hey, why don't you talk to, the owner in this shop here about putting a machine? And this is a well-established shop. It's been around for a while. The owner's known. All of the seats are booked. Every time I go get my hair done, everybody else is in there getting their haircuts. You have to wait at least an hour, and that's with the appointment. Like, it's just booming like that. And I didn't pursue it because I don't have the time. And that's another thing I learned. A lot of people are like, hey, I want 50 machines, but do you have time to manage 50 machines? That's another thing. You can get swallowed, and you can produce poor customer service by taking on more than what you really can handle. So I told him I can't do it, but I took a step back, and he told me, he's like, hey, I take Mondays off. And every other day I'm here, and I'm doing hair from 9 a.m. to 7, 8 at night. He was like, man, I spend like $10 a day running to the gas station. And the location was so perfect because to get to the gas station, you had to get in the car. So how convenient would that have been if a vending machine was there? You got to wait. And one thing I learned in this era of the pandemic, regardless of what times we're in, recession, people losing their jobs, people are going to pay to look good and feel good. So people are going to continue to get their haircuts, and people are going to continue to get their hair done, and, and just groom themselves, because that's just the era that we're in. And that's just what it is. I think maybe it's always been like that. So an established barbershop is man, you can really like capitalize for real and make some good money in there. And you don't even have to be there while the money's being made. So location is key. Location.
Yeah, it is, it's crazy because when you look at the entire barbershop setup, especially mine, sometimes, I would have a haircut schedule at say 10 a.m. Man, I ain't getting into the barber chair till like 11:45, sometimes noon. If it's a Saturday, maybe 2 o'clock, you know what I mean? But, to your point, we're hungry sitting there, and the vending machine's right there. Yeah. Now, would you say, and I don't want, of course, I would say obviously, right? The more you would have in it in terms of just beverages, snacks, and candy, those machines operate better than the basic just snacks with no beverages.
So one of the first things, like when I'm consulting a little bit, right, I like to talk about is, first I tell people, all right, let's what type of vending do you want to do? That's the first thing. Vending is way beyond snacks and drinks right now.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Wait. You don't. Nah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I got hype. I'm sorry. Way beyond snacks and
drinks. I actually do more consulting with non-traditional vending, meaning other things outside of snacks and drinks. I do with snacks and drinks. That's what most people think of when they think of vending machines. But back to the point. So the first thing I would say is, okay, what type of vending you want to do and where is it going? Because depending on the size and the space that they have, I'm not sure where you're located. Where are you again?
I'm upstate New York, but I am in between Dutchess County, New York, and Danbury, Connecticut. So okay. my barbershop's in Danbury, but that area, it's a booming area. It's a really busy market.
So what I'm thinking is really, so you have snack machines. That's where it's all snacks. Then you have drink machines. That's where it's all drinks. Then you have what they call combinations. So a combination machine is where it has, the bottom half will be drinks and the top half will be snacks. Now, typically people get those because of the space. So maybe the location might not have the space. And so it's ideal in a barbershop. It may not, have a large area. And that's why I asked you where you are, because I know, like New York, a lot of the places and the buildings and stuff is tight, so you would more likely probably get a combination machine. So really, it wouldn't matter which one. Now, most vendors, people who are vending, they would rather have two machines because, in a drink machine by itself, it typically can hold like 300 drinks, but if you're in a combination machine, you're sharing it with your snacks. And so most people would prefer to have two machines, but depending on where you are, that may not be an option. You might have to provide them with just one machine. So,
I'm trying to do my best, and I'm really trying to do my best here to avoid asking you coaching questions. And that's why, yeah,
No.
okay.
We're
All right,
good.
so good. I could dive in. Great. Because, I've learned a little bit. I don't know of course, I don't know that much, but I've learned a little bit with the vending machine business, ironically, because of TikTok. And there are a couple of TikTokers out there, and they have a way of getting their message out there and making it informative. Like, hey, this is what you do. You would reach out to the business owner, say like you want to get this machine in there, agree to give them maybe 2%, 5%. Again, you don't have to answer that question, but is that
The
okay?
door's open. We now.
All right. Is that something that you negotiate with the business owner? Like, hey, we're coming in here. We'll let you know how it's always going to be full. We're willing to give you collateral at say 5% or something like that.
So once you get your type of vending, your machine location is next. Okay, so location. Let's dive into the location, which is the most important part, and it's the hardest part of the business. And I tell people that up front because I want them to know and be aware of the challenge that's going to come with getting started. But finding a location typically is the hardest part. And when you're trying to get a location, people usually do it in one or two ways. The first way will be like you're saying, really getting out there, getting in front of the location, the owner, the business owner, depending on how big the business is. If it's too big, you might not be able to reach the owner, but the manager, the person that's in charge, who can make decisions. And you got to kind of come with a pitch. And I do help guide people. I have a written script, and I talk it out with them. Yeah, I have a written script. I talk it out with them. I tell them to be human, be real, sound confident. Because if I come to you, you come to my business and you sound, all over the place, I may not be like, I don't really want to deal with this person if they're a new company. You don't have to tell them all that. So you want to sound confident. There's a way that you're going to approach the business. And typically, when I teach you what I teach you, like what to say, really highlight on the benefits of having your vending machine in their location for free. So that's the idea. Hey man, Yahavy, man, I know you got this barbershop. I notice you don't have any vending machines in here. Would you be interested in having a machine placed in here for free? This will be a good benefit for your employees. So if your barbers are booked up, they can't leave out to go to the store. The machine is here conveniently. Prices are good. We can communicate with the product placement. And guess what? This will also be good for your customers that are sitting, waiting. Food usually, comforts people. So, and it's free to you. I'll keep it stocked and maintained. And that you're really highlighting on the benefits of them having this free machine in their business. Now, some people will really be like, whoa, you know what? That is a benefit. It's a benefit because where's the nearest gas station? I got to get in the car to go there. I can't just walk next door. So targeting places like that is good. Really taking your time and looking and seeing, well, what's around here? You know what I'm saying? I got some machines in a warehouse. I don't pay anything to them. Why? Because first of all, it's hot in Miami. It's always hot. Like right now, it's probably like 75 outside right now. Our winter may consist of 1 or 2 days getting cold. So, it's hot. These people are working in the factory. When it's time to, get something to drink, the machine is there. It's stocked. It's cold. I got the stuff in there that these people like based on their demographics. What type of people are working here. These are things that I need to keep in mind as I'm placing the product. It's convenient here, and they don't have to do anything at all but use the machine. They don't have to do nothing. No repairs. Is nothing. So, some owners will see the benefit and they won't ask for anything. But then you have some that, they'll be like, well, what's in it for me? Or, what about my electricity or whatever the case may be. And then that's where you got to kind of already know that they'll do that. And honestly, you have some people in vending, they're like, if I got to pay a percentage, I don't want to put my machines there. And you have some people that are like, okay, I'll do it. I get it. Although, and I tell people, they're like, really? A vending machine doesn't take up any more electricity than a traditional refrigerator. So it's not like, you're running up the current, really high or whatever. But some people do want to cut. And I tell people, hey, here's the threshold of the percentage. And depending on the location, sometimes if the location is banging, uh, so, for example, I had a client that, and I never thought about this, and I'm just sharing it with everybody. I had a client I was consulting with, and a lot of people that I talk to, they have a little understanding about vending. They just need me to help them piece it together and what steps to take. I don't know which way to go, left, right, straight. Help me out, Lakinya. And she was telling me that her job has vending machines and they're going to let her place her machines. And I'm like, well, why would they do that? And where do you work? And she was like, oh yeah, I work, I'm a nurse. I work at a dialysis clinic. We have a lot of those in Miami popping up everywhere. And I'm like, the dialysis clinic? She was like, yeah, the man comes in there every other day and refill the machines. And I'm like, what? And they're going to that's a killing. And, she said, yeah, and she had to break it down. She said, you got to think about it. Most of the people that come in here are older. They're getting dropped off by medical transportation. And I know a little bit about that because my grandmother used to use that. So, where they take you to your doctor's appointments, and it's not like Uber, well, I'm going to call you, I'm ready. It's a system. So sometimes you got to wait. And she said, these people are here with us all day. And a lot of them are going back to a nursing home. They're not, and this is all they got. It's the vending machine, so they use it. I said, man, that's brilliant. And then the next day she texts me a picture of the machines. They're not even any state of the art. Some couple $100. The machines, he couldn't have paid no more than a couple $100. So I'm like, man, he's killing it. Again, the average drink machine can hold, up to 200, like almost 300 drinks. And, a snack machine can hold a couple hundred pieces of product as well. So I'm like, man, that's
I mean, so what you're saying pretty much is you could have the best state of the art machine, but if that location is bad and it's a ghost town,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's why you really want to pay attention or get a second opinion. That's why I offer that to people. I say, hey, listen, I know everybody's not a talker, but reach back out to me, utilize me. You let me help you. Let me, once you get your location, like send it to me. I'll check it out on Google. I'll just, I'll do some background. I'm a researcher. So just let me help you because we want to make sure that this place has the people that are coming in and out. If they do not, it's not gonna be any good. And you're going to be upset. You're going to be upset, or you're going to feel like the business has failed you.
And to your point, like you said, they didn't have the best machine in the world, but they were in the best location and they made a killing.
And I think they were just allowing her to possibly move her machines in there because they weren't on a contract or anything with him. And a lot of times, and I didn't really notice this until people started like keeping me up to date on, okay, let me know how you're going. Hey, Lakinya, just letting you know, I went to this place, that place. Yeah, they already have a machine, but they're going to let me. Like I'm working with a lady right now in North Carolina. And I started working with her about March or April, somewhere around in there. And just one day, maybe about a month or two ago, she hit me up. She texted me and say, hey, she want to let you know I got a location. And I'm like, okay, well, how did you get that? Because I want to know. She was like, someone that I know, they knew that, I'm into the vending, and she reached out to me and said that the school that she works at, they have vending machines, but they're not happy with the service. The guy, he doesn't come all the time. And this is where I say, you got to be careful with taking on more than what you can handle. The guy doesn't come as often as he should, and the machine is not always stocked. And, they're ready for a new machine. So, once that lease is up, and she's actually probably at the beginning of this year, she's getting brand new machines. So, and that's another thing I taught people through: used machines or new machines. With her, because of, okay, it's a private school. I think it's a Christian school. I think that's the religion that it is, a Christian school. They have 120 kids. They have a staff of about 30 people, and they're open every day, they're open every day. And the reason why is because it's a school and it's a church. So the machines are going to be used all the time. So in that case, I said, you can afford to get a new machine, you know, because you're going to have your credit card reader on there. Most kids nowadays in high school, they have credit cards or debit cards or whatever. You got a good amount of staff. This is a private school. They're in school. It's worth it. You'll be able to handle it. And so, we got to be careful there's another thing you got to be careful with, making sure that you're providing good service, because, someone can come right in off of you and offer a better service, and they'll go for it. But yeah, so you don't have to have the best machines to make money. Now, when it comes to machines, there are some things that you do want to keep in mind, though, as far as like maybe used machines, not getting them too old, because if they're too old, then they may not be capable of having a credit card reader attached to them. And it's a way that, and I have videos and resources that I share with people on how to tell. I've even had people, I tell them, well, you can ask the seller. A lot of times the seller don't know. Okay, well, open up the machine. Let me tell you where to look. Take a picture, send it to me. I get very detailed like that with helping people. So yeah, that's one of the things you got to be careful with. If the machine is, the machine is like super cheap, and if it's too old, you can't attach a credit card reader. And a credit card reader, it'll increase your sales up to like 30%. So you want to have one. You definitely want to have a credit card reader on there to really make, to not miss any sales. So, but believe it or not, this guy at this dialysis place, he didn't have any credit cards on there. He didn't have a credit card on there. But I mean, these group of people are structured. They know every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they're going to dialysis. So maybe they get their money, keep their dollar bills. They're mostly older people. So that's a little bit different. That's a more controlled environment. And so, they know they have to come here. They know the machine doesn't have a credit card reader. But typically, you don't want your machine to be too old to where you won't be able to, connect a credit card reader to it.
So you pretty much want to get to the point where one machine pretty much buys the next machine, and so forth and so forth and so forth. But to your point, my biggest takeaway is location is everything. You could have the best state-of-the-art machine in the world, but if that location ain't popping, your machine ain't popping for you. And looking in the beauty industry, because it's funny, because of Clubhouse, I have so much more connections of just women in the hair industry. So that, for one, because they're in there all day, every day, getting their hair done for hours, right? Yeah. So having a machine in there, yeah, that's very convenient, to your point. But with COVID, right, with the pandemic, how can one, me personally, I wouldn't go into like each job because of social distancing. So how can you try to do that on, like, is there a way that you could do this online? You don't have to dig too deep into it, but is there a way for someone to find out if a company or a small business already has a machine without seeing it?
So here's the thing, right? When it comes to finding locations, when I'm talking to people, and point number 2, the first way is doing it yourself. The second way will be having someone else to do it, but that's another thing. But if you're doing it yourself, I tell people you can call, and some people will call. They'll call. You got to have your script together, though. You got to know what you're going to say, maybe have your list, however you're going to organize yourself. But you can call. And do it that way. Now, you get better results when you go in person, but you definitely can call. People do that. And I have another little trick that something I kind of came up with to have people to try out. Not sure if it works or not. Another way to kind of reach out to people in a different way due to COVID, to see if they'll get some responses that way, just without having to go in person. But you can definitely call. People do it. You do have some people that are like, no, don't call. You should go in or whatever. I even have some email tactics, and some people email and some people get results. Some people get results on that. It really just depends. So you can try. You definitely can try with calling. And with vending, it's best if you go in. And the reason why is if you think about it, or if you be strategic of when you call. But if you think about it, let's think about your barbershop, right? Let's say they didn't have a vending machine in there and somebody was calling, and I don't know who picks up the phone, if it's another barber or whoever's not busy or whatever the case may be. But if you call there on a Saturday at 2 p.m., they're not going to give you the time of the day, even if they ain't got a machine. Oh, no, we're not interested. That's what you're going to get, because the time that you call wasn't the right time. So I always talk to people about let's use our head, and let's thinking about when we're reaching out to businesses, when we're doing it, so that way we can possibly get better results at talking to someone. And a lot of times it's because people are busy, and that's why they're like not interested. They're not even hearing your pitch. They're just not interested because they don't have the time. And so that's why most say, all right, if you come in person, it's better. It's better. You can leave a card, they can connect with who you are. And maybe when they do slow down and catch a moment, they might call you back or whatever the case may be. But I've seen people get results on both ends, virtually and in person. In person is the preferred method, but, you definitely can do either or.
That's dope. That's incredible. You know what? I'm thinking out loud. I'm gonna mess around and throw a mask in there in the vending machine. Hey, get your mask though. Hey, come on now.
So here's another thing I really like about the vending machines, right? The snack machine, not the drink machine, but the snack machine. You can put anything in there. Anything. That's what they put the lashes in. It's a snack machine, and we convert it. We convert it and make it look pretty, but that's what you put the lashes in. That's what you put the toiletries in. Electronics, anything. As long as it'll fit in there and you can dispense it, you're good. Because most machines go from anywhere from $0 to $1,000 that you can program the price. So you don't have to just sell snacks and drinks. And guess what? So I have my thing about people, and I even have material for PPE vending. So here's my take on that. Now, I have it because people want to know about it, honestly. Now, but what do I feel about that? I feel like right now we're in a time where, I don't know how it is, right? I don't know if it's as bad as it was a couple of months ago, but we're in a time right now where people are wearing masks and they're trying to be a little bit extra sanitary because we're forced to. But the moment that we're not forced to, that might not be a good investment anymore. But it's okay. The reason why it's okay is because it's a snack machine. You can just take it out and put something else in there. So you're not tied to one thing. But right now, in this time, in this day and age, you definitely can throw some mask in there. Now, I would probably get a little bit more creative because you can find a mask pretty much everywhere now. I remember at one point you really couldn't find masks. But maybe I would get a little bit more, okay, what do people like? How can I connect with people because they have to wear masks? But let me put it to where they feel okay about wearing it. Maybe you want to make your machine sports theme, NFL mask, find someone to do them, put the teams in there, you can get a wrap. I have contacts for wraps, and you can take a regular snap machine and make it I'm just throwing it out there because I'm Miami and I was just watching the game, but a dolphin, you could wrap it with the Dolphins logo, whatever, but have all of the different teams face mask in there, and you can do it like that. Or for the kids, you can make a kids mask machine, get all the popular cartoon characters right nowadays, Fortnite machine, and people will buy it. People will buy it.
Now you spot on right now. You're dropping a lot of, now I got to slow you down. You dropping a lot of gems right now. Yeah. Hey, everyone listen to this. Look, y'all want more? Tune into the course. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, come on now. I don't want you giving out too much. So I want to know a little bit more because of course I'm interested. I used to be a personal trainer for 7 years. So one of my old personal training clients, he actually follows you on Instagram. And in my marketing, one of my marketing clients, he expressed some interest too. So, there are a lot of people that's very interested in getting into this business. And I think it's only right for everyone to go through you to avoid that trial and error, as you mentioned, with the coaching and the consulting. What are some benefits from your consulting and coaching program for all potential prospects?
I'm not sure if you mean, just
Like some in terms of just benefits of me, say for me, for example, what are the benefits of me coming on to work with you as a client, right? Do you help me find the machines? Do you help me find the locations and the scripts that you mentioned?
So here's the thing, right? So any package that you decide to get is going to come with recorded, like how we're kind of in now, recorded on what to do from start to finish. It's also going to have, the script that you're talking about, all kind of resources and videos and links that I'm going to be referring to kind of help you piggyback from. I also have different ebooks with different types of vending, because maybe you want to know, what are my options? I might not want to do snacks and drinks. Can you tell me what else I can do? So I kind of present options and put that in front of you. I also have a package that, because some people don't want to get on the phone, and I get that. Some people are like, no, I can just, read your information and I can go from there. And some people are like, hey, I want a quick call with you in addition to that. So I have another package where I can find the machines for you. It's a machine finder service. That's something I came up with, because I'm like, I'm telling people where to find the machines, and when they're looking, all right, well, is this a good machine? I don't know. So what I do is I'll go find them for you. And I'm not just going to find them and say, here you go, here's a machine. I'm going to find it. I'm going to point some things out to you. I'm even going to tell you what I would offer the seller, because maybe, hey, they're it's a little bit high. You should also, so I'll send notes and everything with it. And then I'll tell you, okay, schedule your call and we'll get on the phone and talk about it a little bit more. Now, my next package is a little bit more. It's not just a single call. It's the call plus unlimited communication. So we may communicate via text. You might want me to evaluate your machines that you find on your own. Hey, Lakinya, look at this. What do you think? And I'll send you some notes back. And it's an ongoing mentorship, and I'll kind of hold your hand up until you're done. One client that I was working with that I really was like, okay, this is needed. We went through the entire process from talking on the phone, her reviewing the material, talking on the phone. She's gotten it, getting with the location. Okay, once she got the location, we went in between new machines, used machines, finding the best fit for her, getting her hooked up with a new machine, getting that financing, because I do partner with a company that, that offers financing and whatnot. And even down to product placement. So we're on the phone. Let's go on to the website where you will purchase your products. Let's talk about where your machine is going, the type of people that's there. Let's go ahead and let me tell you, these are the things that you probably should sell. This is your price point that you want to sell it at, because this is what you're paying. How do I know what to price? I'm going to help you with that, depending on where your location. A lot of things depends on the location. So I like it because it's tailored. It's just not go buy my course and you'll learn. No, it's buy the course. And then in addition to the course, we get on the phone and I will mentor you based on, because what state you live in, that makes a big difference. Florida is different from New York, that's not a good point. Florida is different from, I don't know, any other state, whatever, somewhere on the West Coast maybe. And, and so what works in Florida might not work over there. The demographics might be different. Where's your location? So my program really does cater to the person that is looking for help, not just a one size fits all course. Buy this course and, thanks for buying my course. So it's really personal. It's personal. It's very personal. And I meet you where you are, because some people have some knowledge. I've talked to people that have machines already. Maybe they're struggling with location and they just want me to tell them, just give me some feedback and give me some help, some direction on location. Maybe they know zero at all. So then I got to start in baby steps. So I really meet you where you are. And I do also, and this is another thing that I really try to connect with people. I do understand working and trying to do this, because most people I'm with, they're working. So what I try to do is take a little bit of pressure off of you and really give you steps. I have follow-up emails and say, hey, this is what you need to do next. 1, 2, 3. So you don't have to try to figure it out on your own. Let me tell you what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And accountability partner. I'm like accountability partner. And sometimes we have this idea, this massive idea that we want to do. Oh, I want to get into this big business. I want to do this. You pay for a course. Oh my God, you're pumped up. And then boom, 2 months later, man, I got caught up, or I didn't have time. And a lot of people do that. And I really try my best to kind of stay knit and check in, like, hey, how's things going? Is there anything that, I can help you with to get to the next level? And it works. It works. It really helps, pushes people.
Let me ask you this. Because in my backstory on how my hustle started in high school, I got a box of candy from BJ's for $15.
Mm-hmm.
I flipped it and I got my return on investment for $60, because it was 30 pieces, sold each piece for $2.
Oh man,
what is the youngest? Is there an age limit? Can a young entrepreneur get started in this?
So that is something that when I first started this, man, I didn't even see this far. I've had parents come on the line with me, hit me up. Hey, I'm interested in starting for my kids. And I do mentors. I do consultations with parents and kids. And I tell them, how's your kid? Put them on the line, and I talk different. Like, I'll break it down for their age group. Because this is what I really like. We're teaching our kids some things. There's a lot of things that you can teach your kids with vending. So it's becoming really popular. I had a client one time, she told me, she's like, I'm not interested, but I want to do this for my son. He gets money every year for his birthday, for Christmas. He's the only child. He's spoiled. I don't want to let him keep taking his money and just spending it on games. I want him to do something. And this seems like a perfect opportunity. I was like, whoa, you know what? I like that. So now I've been really consulting with a lot of parents that are trying to get their kids started up, and there's no age limit,
I'll hold on. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you, but that is beautiful. I'm so glad you're doing that, because there are a lot of young entrepreneurs out there, like really young entrepreneurs that want to get started.
Oh yeah. You might have people that are like 15, 16. They want to get started up. They may not quite know, what to do. My recommendation for that, like if somebody, they're really eager. I had somebody inbox me the other day, but they're a kid, and they say they're 15. I said, well, hey, do you have an adult around? And they were like, oh, well, my business partner, I don't have a parent. I'm not sure what the situation is, but my business partner, or who person I want to do this with, they do. So my recommendation to them is, I'm not going to try to charge you guys separate. Just let's hop on a call, let their parents, get involved, because we want to make sure that we're doing this the right way. And I'll talk to you guys and help you guys out. So there is really no age limit at all. You can get started with this. I have a friend of mine here in Miami. She was the first person that I actually started with. She came to me with, as far as with helping with their children. And I think her son is like maybe 8 and her daughter's like 6. And she said, hey, I just want to do this to teach them about responsibilities and tithing to church, so they can give their tithes to church. And I was like, whoa, okay. So everybody's walk is different. But that was her purpose. And that really opened up, like, wow, parents can teach their things a lot from this. And it's exciting. The kids it's their business. It's exciting. It's a fun business too. It's not like go file the papers or whatever. You got candy, you got gumballs. You can start off small. I always recommend, hey, start off with a little candy machine, until they learn and get the rhythm. And then, then we can graduate them up to a snack machine or a drink machine or whatever. And there's other things within vending. You got amusement games, claw machines, all sorts of things that they can get into. Toys, the machines where you got the little circles with the little toys and bouncing balls, all kinds of stuff. So Back to the point though, you don't really have to be a certain age. Now having a parent, involvement and help is needed, but you don't have to be a certain age. And I actually find the people that are successful and get great results when visiting locations is with kids, honestly. Yep, is with kids. So I remember one time I had a lady, she's like, hey, this is for my boys. I have 4 boys. I'm like, whoa, 4 boys. And I talked her through the script, what to say. She texts me, yeah, we got a meeting with, a barbershop. And she texts me the next day, we got it. And guess what? She let them do the talking. So now we're entering into something different. Now we're teaching them public speaking skills, teaching them how to communicate with people. So it's awesome, man. It's awesome. It's awesome. So, yeah. You there, Yahavy?
No, yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I lagged out for a second.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Do you have me? Let me know if I'm here.
Yeah, I have you. Can you hear me?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. I actually had to connect to my hotspot. I think it was like more so a connection issue on my end.
Gotcha.
I think the last thing I picked up was you guys are teaching them beyond just the vending skills, but the public speaking skills as well.
Yeah.
In terms of that business.
Yeah. So, there's a few things that they're getting from here. They're not just learning, let me go pick up my money. They're learning different things along the way, finances, responsibilities, record keeping, getting out there, public speaking. So it's really a cool business. And another thing that we don't think about, it allows time for bonding with the parents. It's a bonding piece that I see. And me, I have a teenager in my house. My stepdaughter, she's 19, and she's not into this, but I'm just thinking about it. Man, you know what? If I would have got her into this would have been a great way for her and I to bond. We're going on the weekend to do this together. We're going to buy the product. We have to communicate because we got to be on the same page. So it's also a bonding piece too. So it's not just, again, let me go and collect my money. It's a lot of different components that, the parents could really use this to teach their kids things that they aren't teaching them in school. Right. So, and again, I know everybody budget is different, and that's why I like to get on the phone and let's see where you are. Let me give you my recommendation based on what you have. Because, again, I've dealt with people from, hey man, I'm struggling and I'm just trying to create another source of income, or, hey, I have money sitting under the bed. Instead of having it sitting under the bed, I want to make it work for me a little bit. Or I'm already an entrepreneur and I'm actually doing well, but I want to diversify my, my money, my investments. So,
yo, you are going off today. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Cause when you mentioned the bond, I instantly thought about my daughter. I'm like, yo, this is real generational wealth right here. Like, this is generational wealth.
It really is, man. And, it really is. And again, when I first started with this consulting thing, I wasn't thinking like, bonding and all of that. These are just things that I'm learning along the way with experiences and connecting points. I'm like, wow, this is doing this is doing that. And I even got, my nieces and nephews involved and got them excited. And you know what, my sister, she can't do it. So let me invite them in and start, exposing them to something that mom can't afford to do, but I can. And so let me expose them. Let me talk to them about it. Now, my nephew, you can't stop him from watching YouTube vending machine videos. So we got to expose our kids early. And this is a great way.
Let me ask you this. I know, of course, you offer the courses. the kids course, is there a kids with parents course? Is the pricing different or is it all the same?
So now I don't have a course that's specific for kids. The course is the course. When I speak about, connecting with the parents and the kids, I mean on the consultations, because I do offer just a consultation if that's what you want. I don't want the course. I just want a consultation. I want that call to connect with you. So with that, it's the same price. And, I just say, hey, put me on speaker. Let's put your kid on the phone. Let me talk to him. I don't charge any. It's the same price, it's not a different price or anything, but I don't have, and it might be a good idea to maybe think about getting a course for the kids, maybe the parents can, now I do have, and I didn't quite put it out there. I do have a ebook that I wrote for kids about the candy vending. And instead of me just writing stuff in there, I made it to where I'm asking them questions and they need to write out their responses. But I haven't final, it's ready, but I need to, review it a little bit more to make sure that it's age appropriate and it's really going to connect with them. I don't want to just be throwing stuff together, but I thought about the kids too. Like, I don't want to just say, hey, go read this book, but I want to be like, let me give you this activity book. It's teaching you about the candy vending. It's just an ebook, but I'm asking you things along the way. Like, hey, let's think of some names to call ourselves. Write down 3 names, stuff like that inside of this workbook. And I have it. It's just that, like I said, I need to finalize it to make sure that it makes sense to go ahead and piece it all together.
That's pretty interesting because, to my point, when I was in school,
Mm-hmm.
It was easy for all of us to hustle in the hallways and sell candy from BJ's because there was no vending machines back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
None.
Okay.
When I went back to my high school as an alumni to give a graduation speech, what I've noticed is, they got vending machines now. You know what I mean? So it's a big difference. And that's why I asked that question, because these kids now, they don't have the opportunity that I had back then, but they have more opportunity now than I did then because of social media, of course, and because they had the access, of course, to stream this podcast episode, and they had that direct access to message you and learn more about the courses and the programs. I am, and this is why I was so, and I told you this before us going live and starting recording, I was looking forward to this interview. I had this one marked on my calendar for a reason. And this was one of those interviews where it's like, yo, nah, I got to tap in. And one of my last guests told me this. He said, there's times where we actually have to tap into our network. We have to use our resources. We have to reach out. We have to connect with people. So I'm excited to reach out and learn more about these courses, and definitely invest in, tap in, and along with getting my guys involved as well. Because as I mentioned before, a lot of people are interested, but a lot of people are scared because of lack of knowledge. They don't want to take that action. They don't want to fail. And to have an expert like you, someone that's out here crushing it and killing it in the business, I think that's going to be a huge confidence boost for just everyone.
Exactly, man. And there's so many opportunities. And now I'm thinking about, you said that you were a personal trainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can, if that was really like, passion, you can get you a vending machine and put it in the gym, and
it's not a bad idea. It's funny. I have some marketing clients that I'm working with now, and they're actually in Miami, Florida, but they have their own little studio set up in there. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that offline. We're gonna definitely talk about that offline.
And stuff down here.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is incredible stuff right there.
Yeah,
My next question for you is, what are some things that we could look forward to with your brand and your business and IKrave Vending going into 2021? Of course, we're closing out the year. So what can we look forward to?
So right now it's so important that you said, okay, a lot of people don't know where to go or they're scared. And what I get because to be honest with you, I build my clientele 99% of it through IG, through Instagram, right? People finding me through posts, whatever. And, and when I get on the phone call with people, I always ask, I want to say, hey, well, how did you find me? It's always Instagram. And so did you just start following? No, I've been following you for 7 months now. I was just a little skeptical. So now I just wanted to make sure it was real or whatever. And now I'm glad I did, but I get that a lot. So in 2021, I want to do what we're doing here now. Get out there, expose myself in conversations so people can not only have just a post to go off of, or, maybe not even just a 20-second video. They have some some substance. Like they get to pick my personality and see if I'm, somebody they want to work with. And so for 2021, my plan is to get in front of more people in this form, this way right here. And as far as vending, in 2021 and summer of 2021, I am going to I'm trying to transition out of the snacks and drinks. And like I mentioned to you before, I'm in Miami. And everybody that's tuning in, I'm not sure where you guys are from, but Key West, Florida is not far. We're right by the water, and we do a lot of fishing out here. And my little brother, he's actually a fisherman. He fishes 2 to 3 times a week. And so we're in between getting a boat and chartering and, that, but we kind of made a decision to go in a different directions, which is really interesting. Even more reason why I'm telling people, tap into the vending business. We're getting some live bait and tackle vending machines, place them out in the Keys. So it's a vending machine with live bait in there. People can buy it from there. So that's what I'm getting into, and they can buy everything. And again, and I'll be honest, my brother's the one that really brought this to me, but he needs my business side to kind of make it happen. But he brought the idea. He's like, listen, there are no 24-hour bait stores, and man, if you're a fisherman, diehard fisherman like me, you don't have any bait, the trip is over. The fishing trip is over. So, we're getting some machines, and it'll be in the summertime. Just working on closing some other doors because I don't want to overwhelm myself. And that's when, as far as vending, that's what I'm going to be getting into, the specifics of the type of vending. So that's the direction I'm going to be going into. And as far as consulting, I'm going to be getting in front of more people in this way, to, better connect with people and let them see what this business is about and what I have to offer for them, and to help them get to that end road.
This was incredible. I'm at a point where it's like I'm probably gonna have you finish off with some closing thoughts, because I have some things I want to ask you offline, okay, and some things I want to send you offline as well. Sure. I'm definitely tapped into everything that you're doing here. I think IKrave Vending it's going in a direction where it's like, yo, guys, if you're at the point where you're listening to this and you're thinking about investing, you guys need to reach out to IKrave Vending and really, 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 really dig deep into your network. Yeah. Use your resources, take the courses, get on the call, whatever the programs, the ebooks, the videos, study it like it's your homework, because you have someone that's giving you the blueprint, like legit giving you the blueprint and the tools for you to be successful. There's no reason why you should fail, because in this podcast, we found out exactly what the pain points were, right? We talked about this early, location. We talked about the machine, right? So great location, bad machine, still great business, right? Barbershops booming, hair salons booming. Yeah, same concept. But I always say this: what good is information if you don't apply it? Take all this information, apply it to exactly what you're doing, and take action. Please give our audience some closing thoughts and some key takeaways from this episode, because I'm motivated, I'm fired up, and man, I'm fired up. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm hyped.
Just some closing thoughts, guys, thanks for tuning in, and just a little bit of motivation, and just some thoughts that I'm thinking about literally right now. Don't let I don't have the money be an excuse. Don't let the pandemic's here be an excuse. I tell people all the time, even if you're worried about the pandemic, you're not ready to start right now. Learn right now. Let me teach you right now. I'll set up some goals. We can set up some goals and some action items, some things that you can do prior to launching, depending on what type of product that you're or vending you're trying to get into. The point is, the only way, and I always post this a lot on the quote, the only way to get ahead is to get started. Start with what you have, start with where you are. Don't worry about all that. Okay. I'm gonna work with you. Even though, like, I know my program offers 30 days. If I see you're trying and it's 45 days, don't feel like, oh, she's not going to talk to me anymore. No, I'm going to help you to the end road. So again, the only way to get ahead is to get started with whatever you want to do, whatever business venture that you want to get into. You got to get started. You got to start somewhere. You can't keep saying next year, or, it's not the right time. Make a move, invest in yourself, bet on yourself. Okay. Nobody's going to be, they're going to go hard for you like you will. So definitely let's make 2021. And I hope a lot of people really saw that we can't depend on one income. I don't care how long you've been on your job. It's good to have a side hustle. I'm good. I had my little side hustle. Even though, I didn't have that issue, thank God, but there's a lot of people that lost their jobs and they're like, whoa, I have nothing. Even with your vending machine, you could sell it. You got assets. You know what I mean? So don't fall. Don't let 2020 be a lesson that we prepare for. Hopefully this don't happen again, but let's prepare for the future, and let's create multiple streams of income, because that's very important. Anyways, so yeah, thank you guys for having me. Yahavy, thank you for having me on. I enjoyed it. This was.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And I could tell you this is not the last time you heard from me. I could guarantee it. This was incredible. Lakinya Francis, IKrave Vending. Like always, guys, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the St. Clair Speak Show podcast, streaming on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Radio Republic, Breaker, Stitcher. You could watch this full interview on my YouTube channel, Yahavy St. Clair. Like I always say, guys, it's that time. I'll see you in the next one.